Welcome back in, everyone, to another casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today, I am really excited for this game because these are two civilizations that I absolutely love being piloted by two incredible players. Today, for the matchup, on the left side of the map, we're going to be getting Louis MT playing as the Byzantines, and on the right side of the map, we're going to be seeing Puppy Paw play as the Knights Templar. Both of these players are incredibly highly rated on that leaderboard, and when I checked today, they were literally 0.1% in win rate apart. Now, if they've literally played one game since then, I'm sure those numbers have changed, but I thought it was absolutely hilarious that they were 0.1% away in win rate, so I think this is going to be an absolutely excellent game. Both of these players did also recently compete in the EGC Elite Classic 4 tournament. Puppy Paw was able to finish second, and so I think this is going to be an incredible game today. So, Louis MT as the Byzantines immediately got that cistern down and that dock. They were able to just place the dock with their starting wood, where with KT, that dock is going to be a little bit delayed because of the 250 wood cost. The KT docks are a little bit more expensive on that side of the map. And over here on this side of the map, Shoreline fish actually produce olive oil for the Byzantines. So this could be an incredible map here for Louis MT as the Byzantines. And I forgot to announce the map in the intro again. We are playing on Ancient Spires, and I am very curious to see how these players use these water spots in the middle, and if they are going to turn out to be big fighting spots and spots to hold, especially since our Byzantines player does make olive oil off of these shoreline fish. They need a lot of olive oil to produce mercenaries consistently, and mercenaries come in batches, so they're really strong to produce those mercenaries. Over here on this side of the map, I am a little bit surprised we haven't gotten like 1 or 2 villagers on stone just yet. Nobody is on stone over here for the Byzantines player. I'm surprised they're not trying to expand this cistern network earlier, but again, these players are way better at this game than I am, so I don't know what I'm talking about. KT player does look like they're moving over to start gathering their gold for that age up. Both players did delay their age ups a little bit to get these docks down, but I think these docks are going to be insanely valuable in the long run for food production and even olive oil production for the Byzantines player, Louis MT. So let's take a look at everybody's spawn. Looks like there's a second gold. The main gold is off kind of in the back, but not really. It does look like it can get attacked pretty easily from this right flank here. This one does look like it's a little bit more protected and would be very easy to wall off over here on this side of the map. This gold up here does look like it is open as well. And it looks like their second gold is in the front. This second gold does look like it's a little bit more open to attack than this one on this side for Louis MT. So I am very curious with these docks going down. I'm curious if our KT player is going to go for a second TC today. We have 0 villagers on stone on this side either, so it doesn't look like they're going to go for that early TC. What they can do is just keep expanding docks, and essentially these docks will just be creating extra food villagers, but at the cost of wood instead of food. And they can expand their economy that way. But the only problem with Ancient Spires is there is no shoreline fish in the middle. There's no deep water fish. There's only shoreline fish. So all of this fish is eventually going to deplete for both players. Imperial Hippodrome over here for Louis MT. Normally, I do see a Grand Winery. The Grand Winery on top of the berries would boost olive oil production. Maybe the plan here is to go full fishing boats here for that olive oil production, and then use the Imperial Hippodrome to get out those early cavalry units. Louis MT scout just running in to the KT base just a little bit, taking a few arrows to the face, but nothing too crazy. Over here on this side, wow, Puppy Paw, 17 villagers on wood. Absolute madness over here. They are getting that 20% food bonus from gathering all of that wood, and I'm curious what they're going to do with all this wood. Let's try to pay attention. They are definitely building fishing boats, but I'm not sure if they really need that much wood to make fishing boats. I wonder if they're going to try to expand several docks out here as quickly as possible. Over here, we are seeing Louis MT put down another dock. They're definitely moving in to gather olive oil over on this side of the map with their fishing boats. Now we are getting the villagers on berries as well. That is going to help produce olive oil as well. I think it's a 50% olive oil bonus on berries. Let me double check that real fast. The new age has begun for both players. Yes, the olive oil is 50% on berry bushes, and then it is 15% when it's on the olive groves, and 10% bonus from shoreline fish. So definitely a lot of olive oil production here from these berries. We are getting an archery range down. Did Louis MT spot this barracks? Surely that scout spotted that barracks there, and they know to go build that archery range immediately. This first pilgrim on its way over to this sacred site for Louis MT. They did get their pilgrimage upgrade already. Oh, it looks like they got both. That's why they gathered so much wood. They doubled down on their pilgrims, and they got both of the pilgrim upgrades already. That is very fast. That was so fast. As we can see up here at the top, they have the sanctuary upgrade immediately. These horsemen have rolled out for the Byzantines player out of the Imperial Hippodrome, and they're going to do a wonderful job at shutting down these pilgrims. So the pilgrims are trying to create some extra gold here for Puppy Paw, but these horsemen are just going to completely and totally deny that. And now the horsemen are chasing the scout out of this area. Looks like Puppy Paw is now making spears to try and counter these horsemen. But we already know back at base that Louis MT has this archery range down and is probably beginning to produce archers. I wonder what mercenary contract they're going to go with. I still don't see a mercenary house just yet. We do see another cistern going down. These spears getting into a fight with all of these horsemen. It does look like one spear fell. These spears have been completely and totally outnumbered here. So they are probably going to fall in this fight. Puppy Paw pulling the rest of his spears back into base to try and defend from these eventual raids from those horsemen. The dock now going down over on this side for Puppy Paw. But these horsemen do spot this. I bet these horsemen are going to try to burn down this dock and not let it generate any value. And oh my goodness, Louis MT is also going for a third dock. So yeah, both of these players are just going to try and get as many docks as possible off rip and take control of all of these water spots on the map for that shoreline fish. Both players have access to 3 spots of water at the moment. And I assume this spot in the middle and this spot right here in the middle are going to be hotly contested spots in the future. Over here, we are getting the spears burning down this dock for Louis MT. Puppy Paw is going to try and deny this dock, but down here, it looks like Louis MT is trying to deny this dock from Puppy Paw. Both players fighting in 2 spots on the map at once. Now, Louis MT has gotten the Principality of Antioch, and now the Sergeants are joining the party. I do love Sergeants. I normally go with Knights Hospitalier, but oh my goodness, I absolutely love to see Sergeants on the battlefield. Those axe throwers are so much fun. And they also are getting that 15% melee bonus damage from the age up. 2 archers have joined the party here. Interesting. Puppy Paw has started to build some archers for Knights Templar. Knights Templar is a really good civ to just make food and wood units. As we can see, there's no villagers on gold at all over here for the KT player. They are fully dedicated to that gold production from their pilgrims. And I am curious if we're going to see a fortress go down anytime soon, because the number of pilgrims you get does increase with the fortresses. Up here on the top of the map, we're seeing a bunch of spears trying to burn down these docks as well. They have pushed in a little bit farther. Maybe they predicted that Louis MT would move these horsemen back after they saw them leave this dock. Did this dock get burned down? No, this dock is completely and totally fine. These spears now moving away as the horsemen run in to try and defend this dock. Now, the spears have been completely and totally outnumbered. I do think they are going to fall here, even though they do counter the horsemen. There just is not enough of them in this party, and they got completely and totally surrounded. Unfortunate there for Puppy Paw, who does look like they are regrouping their army around this sacred site at the moment. I imagine they would like to defend a sacred site until they get a fortress down, just so they can keep that gold production from those pilgrims. But Louis MT is not going to let this sacred site go unchallenged. Now moving their military in to attack. Nope, just walking right past them. Never mind. They are going to attack this scout, though. The scout is so close to death and gets caught out by that tree. The tree ruined that pathing, and now that scout is dead. Several horsemen running in to try and burn down these fishermen. And moving in to burn down the dock as well. Louis MT trying to punish one of these docks somewhere. And this one in the center of the map does look like the easiest one to punish. Puppy Paw is here to defend with their military, though. A ton of archers in this military. I do think these archers are going to get very, very chewed up by all of these horsemen at the moment. These archers are going to be in a really rough spot with this massive group of horsemen. But they are moving in to try and defend this dock as much as possible. These players are microwaving both of their militaries back and forth. The demolition ship has come out of this dock here. I wonder if that demolition ship is going to get a hit. Louis MT decides to retreat here and not dedicate their army to killing that dock at the moment. We are only on 2 cisterns on this side of the map. Wait, what? Is this not connected? Oh, okay. Somehow, the aqueduct did not get finished, and so Louis MT is moving a villager back there to connect to that 3rd cistern to the pack while these units are fighting, and we get a galley out here for the Knights Templar player to help defend this dock in the center of the map. This is going to be a really rough dock to defend. It is so out in the open, but there's also a gold vein right here, so if Puppy Paw can defend this dock perfectly well, they will have access to this gold vein in the future. Military is gathering outside this sacred site. I don't know if they want to fight just yet. We do have some more spears over on this side of the map for Puppy Paw. I think those are going to help those archers out a ton. They are deciding to pull back at the moment. See where these units go. And as we can see up at the top, we are getting an Angevin Empire upgrade from our Knights Templar player. This is going to unlock those heavy spears, and then fortresses and docks are going to get 30% health. So this is actually perfect. These docks are going to get a buff to their health, and the heavy spears are going to do wonders in taking out these horsemen for the Byzantine player. That Castle Age is coming in about 12 minutes. Let's look at the top. Louis MT does look like they might be working on Castle Age as well. They're almost at the gold and food limits, so I think that Castle Age could be coming in soon. And I assume we're going to see a Golden Horn Tower, but I don't know. Let's wait and see. So this is interesting. I assume what they're going to do with all these fishermen is just delete them after these shoreline fish run out. But that shoreline fish is absolutely going to run out soon. Let's check these barracks. I imagine we're going to get heavy spears produced immediately. Yes, heavy spears are already in the queue, and that's just going to help this military so much against all of these horsemen that have been gathered here for Louis MT. A really nice line of reinforcements making their way into the center of the map. And down here on the bottom, we can actually see that our Knights Templar player is really truly ahead in resources gathered. They are about 5,000 resources ahead. That is beautiful. They don't have wheelbarrow yet. That is genuinely shocking. Wait, neither player has wheelbarrow yet. That is surprising. Military is meeting outside of the sacred site on the right side of the map. One horseman does fall there for Louis MT. It got caught pathing around this giant spire. Unfortunate there for that poor horseman. But now I think this military is going to try to move in and destroy this dock. I do feel like Louis MT's water placement, the 3 big water things back here look like they are a lot easier to defend here for Louis MT. But the military is not moving in to defend at the moment and is actually deciding to stay back, which is a little bit surprising. I imagine we're going to see another dock placed here so these fishermen don't go idle. But at the moment, we can see the Puppy Paw's military is denying this food production here from these fishing boats. This could be like a really big win here if Puppy Paw is able to take over this water spot here in the middle. Because there is still a lot of food available, and another dock is being placed down right there. I think that dock will be a lot easier to defend on that side of the water as well. Puppy Paw deciding to fall back here instead of burning these fishing boats to the ground. I'm sure Puppy Paw did see this military here and did not want to move his in to attack these fishing boats. What is going on back here? One single cistern does not seem to be connected to anything. I'm sure there's a plan here. I just don't see it yet. The cistern is boosting the berry production. Its militaries are clashing in the center of the map here over Puppy Paw's dock. We do have that one galley in that little water gathering. I am excited to see that in a fight. And these archers doing a really great job of taking down several archers from Louis MT. Now the KT military fully moving in. I think they're going to try to attack this dock yet again. Let's see if this push works. We have the heavy spears in the front to try and take on these horsemen. And it looks like we have cataphracts here as well for the Byzantines player. Those cataphracts are going to do extremely well against all of those archers over here on the KT side. And back here, it looks like a couple cataphracts have moved in. These are veteran Keshik, actually. Move in to harass these villagers while the full militaries are fighting. We're getting crossbows here for the Byzantines player as well. And everybody is in on this fight. A full clash here in the center of the map over this massive water. I have no idea who's going to win this fight, but it does look like these heavy spears are staying alive for a really long time. And the archers do look like they're doing a great job of taking out those crossbows from Louis MT. And it looks like Puppy Paw has overwhelmed Louis MT here and is pushing them out of this area. I wonder if Puppy Paw is going to move in now to try and attack this dock. And those archers were beautifully microed to take out whatever crossbows Louis MT did have. Those crossbows, of course, would have hard countered all of these heavy spears. Now we're seeing these militaries move back after that massive fight there in the middle. I do think Puppy Paw came out on top there. As we can see at the top, their military does greatly outnumber Louis MT's military at the time. There's the plan. The plan has come together. Massive aqueduct here. Beautiful. Still not at 5. Still not at 5 cistern boosts. And we did get a Golden Horde Tower. Louis MT is in Castle Age as well. I cannot believe I missed that yet again. How do I keep missing that? And neither player has Wheelbarrow. That is crazy. Units now fighting Keshik and cataphracts here are just cleaning up a ton of archers. Those archers are going to die so fast to this cavalry. It's not even funny. A few heavy spears have joined the party though. Maybe they can get a lot of much needed damage in here. This galley just shooting these cataphracts, absolutely hilarious. But the cavalry does decide to start running away from all of those heavy spears. Those heavy spears are doing just a ton of damage at the moment. And it looks like there's just a ton of fishing boats here that are absolutely in danger. These fishing boats are going to get burnt down. And oh my goodness, Puppy Paw is fully pushing in to Louis MT's base and tearing down this aqueduct. They're going to try to break down this bonus here and try and slow down the resources gathered over on this side for Louis MT, who is now moving their military back over here to try and defend. More crossbows have joined the party for the Byzantines to try and take on these heavy spears that are heavy armor here. And the cataphracts and keshiks are still moving in to the base of Puppy Paw, and they just ran directly into that brace from the heavy spears, and that was so much damage on that cavalry right there. That absolutely decimated that cavalry. I don't think they are long for this world. Puppy Paw now retreating this military over here away from those crossbows and archers, which are dealing a lot of damage over here. And now it looks like the heavy spears are going to try and burn down this outpost, but instead decide to turn around and start fighting while the archers move over to take out all of these crossbows who just joined the party. It looks like Louis MT is trying to move into Puppy Paw's base with some more cataphracts, or maybe that was just what was left of that raiding party. I got baited by that notification there. The villagers are just killing a boar. And now the archers do have to run away, and it looks like our militaries have evened up a lot here at the moment. This dock is still in production, but this shoreline fish looks like it is almost depleted. It looks like everybody's getting close to the point where their shoreline fish is going to be about out. Only 3 spots here. And now this military for the Byzantines player is moving in to attack this dock in the center of the map. Another cataphract dies to those villagers, while these crossbows are just doing a ton of damage here. Louis MT just absolutely decimating with these crossbows now, while a bunch of reinforcements are joining for Puppy Paw, trying to get these crossbows off of this dock in the center of the map. Everybody fighting as hard as they possibly can. These cataphracts just constantly running in to the back of Puppy Paw's base, and they are successfully getting villager kills. We can see that Louis MT does have 11 villager kills at the moment, while these militaries are fighting over the dock in the center of the map, and I do think this dock is going to fall now. These crossbows have done an incredible job here for our Byzantines player, while these cataphracts just keep running in one by one to get more and more villager kills. That is going to be a problem over here on this side for Puppy Paw. Looks like 3 crossbows have been cut out here for Louis MT. They are going to fall, but all these crossbows back here did successfully clean up all of the fishing boats and that dock here in the center of the map. So now we can see that Louis MT does have 3 water spots. This one is completely depleted. There's nothing here. Those fishing boats have been completely deleted. And now the Keshik horsemen are trying to burn down this gate to get to these villagers on this side, but multiple horsemen have also gathered out on this side, and now we can see Louis MT is fully pushing in to Puppy Paw's base, but deciding to back out before getting caught out by all of these archers. Let's check the relics real fast. It looks like, oh, only Puppy Paw has 1 relic. Neither player. We're 21 minutes into the game, and there's still multiple relics on the map. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Fully dedicated to these militaries at the moment. The Keshik doing their work, doing the best they can. These archers are going to have a great time at killing these crossbows on the other side of this wall. These heavy spears do run out and immediately die to all of the crossbow fire, though. And the archers are focusing on some of the horsemen, it looks like. They are focusing on that front line there for Louis MT, while more Keshik and horsemen are just getting villager kills in the back. As we can see, Louis MT is up to 17 villager kills, doing a really great job of harassing all of these villagers by just sending in 2 to 3 Keshik, Cataphract, or horsemen in at a time to go back there and kill villagers. These archers are chasing all of these crossbows out of the territory. But I think if all of these crossbows turned around, might be a bad time for those archers there. Fortress is going down over the sacred site right now. Is this the first fortress of the game? This might be the first. No, there's one right here. Okay, so the second fortress of the game, it looks like. They are securing up this path here for those pilgrims to constantly make their trek for that gold production. A ton of horsemen have gathered out here on this side of the map. And if they break through this gate, all of these villagers on gold are going to be in great danger. They are going to go in and try to burn these fishing boats as well, before deciding to burn down this gate. Now the crossbows are moving in for Louis MT as well, taking out several fishing boats there. Unfortunate, and the horsemen have broken through this wall, and they're just going to go for this dock as well. So it looks like Louis MT kind of has overwhelmed Puppy Paw at the moment. Multiple docks are falling here for Puppy Paw, and they are going to be pushed back to only 1 dock. And at the moment, this 1 dock does not have any shoreline fish to gather at all. But on this side of the map, Louis MT does have a few shoreline spots to fish. Still, oh my goodness, Puppy Paw's army, it looks like they've gotten cut out just a little bit. We'll have to see how this fight goes. Actually, the archers are a soft counter to all of these crossbows, but I don't know, the crossbow death ball has gotten to an absurd amount. They are being microed to deal damage to 1 unit at a time. Now they are bringing in waves. Now they are dealing damage in waves to all of the archers. Those archers are just dealing so much damage to those crossbows that was a pretty heavy loss in crossbows there for Louis MT. The horsemen now running in. They're going to just absolutely decimate all of these archers for Puppy Paw. And these archers are trying to get away while heavy spears are joining the party to try and brace from all of these charging horsemen. But they are ultimately going to get caught out and surrounded. Now a galleon, a demolition ship rolls in. Oh, it just went off just a little too late. If that demo ship had just gone off a little bit earlier, I think that would have been devastating there for those horsemen from the Byzantines player. Pilgrims are still making their pilgrimage over here to this sacred site. Puppy Paw does still have access to a lot of gold at the moment in the form of those pilgrims. Horsemen see this fortress now and are getting repelled by that fortress. And both players, it looks like, still have a ton. Actually, Louis MT looks like they've mined most of the gold out of their side of the map. Over here on this side of the map, we see that Puppy Paw still has access to 5 gold veins, and one of them is large. This one, I guess, they don't really have access to, so 4 smaller gold veins, like, right next to their base. And then this one, I would say this is anybody's gold vein. And this is anybody's gold vein, too. So 2 large gold veins here in the center of the map to fight over. And I wonder if we're going to see that. I don't see many gold veins left here for the Byzantines player. I guess they could go get access to this one. They could also go get access to this one, and it looks like they're trying to get access to this one right now. Both militaries look like they're just regrouping at the moment, as one horseman looks like it was trying to scout out a little bit, but does fall to that fortress. Unfortunate there for that horseman. UMT moving that entire military out all at once. We're gonna have to see where they go. And oh my goodness, the Byzantines player did get to Imperial. Where is their Imperial age up? The foreign engineering company. This is going to give them access to Nest of Bees, which, if we're being real, is going to do a lot of damage to all of these archers and crossbows over here. If they start mass producing Nest of Bees, let's see. They have any produced yet? They have this line going over here somewhere. I guess I could just check up at the top. We don't see any Nest of Bees yet for Louis MT. They would be absolutely devastating here for Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw is now up to 2 relics. Let's check the relics again. Okay, now our Byzantines player does have 3, and Puppy Paw does have 2. This military now moving in to start burning down some of these buildings, these military production buildings. The horsemen dealing just a ton of damage to these buildings. The crossbows are being microed around, waiting for this military for Puppy Paw to attack. And it looks like these units here are going to get several buildings completely and totally razed. And that's going to be very, very unfortunate for Puppy Paw at the moment, who is very, very behind in villagers. As we can see, Louis MT has gotten 20 villager kills. This is going to be a problem for Puppy Paw, because that economy for the Byzantines player is going to take over, especially with these boosts. Look at how long that aqueduct is. Oh my goodness. That's an insane aqueduct. So they are going down here to this gold vein right now to keep producing these gold units. Both players gathering their militaries. It looks like they are going to fight over this sacred site here. If this fortress falls and Louis MT can sit on this sacred site, that would deny so much gold production from those pilgrims. And it looks like this sacred site on this side of the map is already secured with this keep for the Byzantines player. And this military has just done an incredible job. Louis MT has done an incredible job of just denying all of these docks and really just pushing Puppy Paw out of this entire half of the map. Puppy Paw can no longer use these deer or this gold vein, and now Louis MT is even walling off this massive gold vein in the back. That's going to be a huge problem for Puppy Paw. They are going to try, Puppy Paw is going to try and put a fortress down on this gold vein here. They absolutely do need more gold production at the moment. It seems like mass produce these gold units. Cannons have rolled out here for Louis MT, and they are working on burning down this fortress. I do think this fortress is going to fall. Doesn't look like any villagers over here to defend or repair this fortress, I mean. And a keep has already started here for Louis MT, who has just done an incredible job at map control in this game. This military over here for Puppy Paw. Where are they going? It looks like they're going to try and attack the main base of Louis MT. Looks like they're going to try and deal as much damage as they possibly can. But as we can see at the bottom, Louis MT has gotten ahead here in resources gathered. And this is going to be a really huge problem for Louis MT now that, or for Puppy Paw, now that Louis MT is taking ahead taking a lead in resources gathered. But it looks like Louis MT does spot this up here and is moving their military back to defend this keep. This feels like a game-defining battle at the moment. I think whoever wins this fight is probably going to win the game. And Louis MT has just done a beautiful job of taking map control with their military. And at the moment does outnumber Puppy Paw by about 15 units. Down here, Puppy Paw is going to spot the cistern on that gold production. Now the militaries are moving in to fully fight on the outside of this Ancient Spire. Everybody going at it, but it looks like Louis MT has outnumbered Puppy Paw here greatly. And I don't know if those heavy spears are going to be enough. Oh, it just ended again. Sometimes the games just end. Hold on, let me look who forfeited. Hold on, I'll be right back. So Puppy Paw did forfeit that game. Sometimes it literally just ends the game and sends me back to the main screen, weirdly enough. But anyway, GG, I think that was a great game. And Louis MT won that one. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I appreciate you all being here. If you guys do enjoy the videos, please consider leaving a like or even subscribing. And I hope to see each and every one of you in the next one. Bye.